Even on her worst days, Fletcher always knew how to make her laugh. Tight finances and taking Aaron in so young had kept them from having a child of their own, a regret Edie was sure she'd never release. Aaron had been 16 months old when Edie found Miranda dead in the upstairs bathtub, her wrists slashed, her eyes wide open and staring, as though there had been something particularly gruesome perched atop their mother's old chair in the corner of the room. That sunny afternoon had changed 19-year-old Edie Bell forever. Without Fletcher, she would have been damned to loneliness and crippling depression. With him, she had somehow managed to continue on living, actually laughing at his antics as he clowned around, the great entertainer of tiny Ironwood, Arkansas. He made her so happy. She quietly mourned there not being two of him, a mini Fletcher with his same sense of humor to counter Aaron's silent, sometimes stoic nature. Edie had lied to Aaron, had told him that his mother had run off to Hollywood in search of fame and fortune, and perhaps would someday return to her life in Arkansas, with riches beyond any of their wildest dreams. But something about Aaron's silence assured Edie that somehow, by some sort of dark magic, he knew that she had abandoned him. No matter how much Edie doted on him, she never asked him to call her Mama. The idea had always scared her, as though taking Miranda's place would awaken a ghost. Not liking the silence, Edie hummed Mary Jane's Last Dance beneath her breath, rolling dough against the heels of her palms. It was her favorite song, one the radio DJs played on a loop between Bruce Springsteen and Phil Collins tracks. She swayed her hips. There was a whole stack of Heartbreakers tapes somewhere in the living room. Tom Petty's complete collection, courtesy of Fletcher Holbrook's minor obsession since '76. There was a thud in the living room. A bang, 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 as though someone was stomping mud from their boots. Edie went silent. Her gaze jumped from her wedding ring, removed and lying on the table just shy of the flowered surface, to the mouth of the hallway, her arms breaking out in gooseflesh so suddenly it nearly hurt, every pore expanding and contracting with the hammering of her heart. Your mind is going. But the noise had been undeniably loud. She'd heard the stack of teacups and saucers on the table rattle with the vibration of that triple thump, and she'd heard that banging before. Probably a neighbor tooling around in the woods, cutting down dead trees, getting a jump start on firewood. It was a possibility. But what about all the things that had been plaguing her for the past few months? The creak of the stairs when no one was there to use them. Doors she left open, closing on their own. And doors she was damn sure she'd closed, yawning open when her back was turned. Why had she spent the last week washing her hair with her eyes open, securing the doors and triple-checking the locks like someone fraught with an obsessive compulsion, and sleeping with the lamp on even though she'd never in her life been afraid of the dark? It was either a ghost, or Edie was slowly losing her mind. And since ghosts didn't exist, they don't exist. If you believed in that stuff, you would have never stayed in this house. It was true. The very first thing she'd heard at school when the Bells had moved into the house at the end of Old Mill Road was that it was haunted, stalked by the ghost of a kid who had done some terrible, wicked thing. Edie never stuck around to hear what that thing had been. She had never been interested because she wasn't a fool. But now her fool's heart was leaping into her throat as the stairs groaned beneath an invisible weight. She could see the front door through the hallway. She knew nobody had come inside. And yet those stairs whined as something climbed them, much like the panic that was climbing up her throat, slithering into her mouth, trying to form a scream. Edie pulled her hands from the wad of dough, the concoction sticking to her fingers, refusing to break its hold. Grabbing a dish towel from next to the sink, she wiped off her hands, smearing beige-colored paste across a gingham